All right. That's 10 minutes on the clock. I don't know if we've got 10 minutes of team commentary to do here, but we could do some speculation as well.
Oh, I'm all about,
when the first match starts.
Speculation.
When the first match starts, I'll also kick off the vote.
All right, sounds good.
That way you can bet your channel points, your big channel points.
Oh, we can waste my channel points again. Who is Neil gonna gas up? Well.
Yeah, let's
now
kick
that
it in
you
here.
ask,
What are you thinking?
I'm gonna gas up the Yeti.
Yeti has shown pretty tremendous value so far for literally everybody's team that's actually used it. The only downside is Braigs' team. This is again Meterless. Braigs' team does have a couple of medium units, but really not that many. I can't remember what the Yeti's accuracy for Frost Breath is against light units, but I also remember can't remember if the Frost Breath attack actually even can miss. So there's a good chance you can just tank it out.
Let's just say it's Saturday, my dudes, and I'm gassing up a Yeti today.
He's cracking open a cold one with the boys.
Crack open a cold one and gas up a Yeti for no good reason.
On Braigs' side, if people recall from Basilllisk match earlier this week, there was a lot of Bony Boys. He's hashtag Bony Boy team, Bony Boy squad. Braigs' team does have the Cyclops, which, if I can remember correctly, does have Dispersion Beam, which is considered a spell, much like the Yeti's Frost Breaths, but does not freeze. It just does big damage. Also seeing the Sam Knight. Really not a whole lot of heavies on the side of Braigs in order to counter out these tons of medium units coming off of Basilllisk.
You know what I almost forgot to also gas up? Reviving Yushish.
You're reviving Usis. Very niche pick in this. I think the only time that Eustace really comes out is if Basilllisk ends up choosing the Secutor for some reason. But we did not see a single Secutor pick last time.
Fair. This game has seen... These two have had significantly less heavy spam than we've seen in some other games, interestingly enough, in Meterless. And I think part of that is heavies are really, I wouldn't say hopeless, but they are much, much weaker to lights just because you don't guarantee damage on them. And even with the damage nerf, heavies usually hit so hard that clapping lights isn't too big of a problem. But the heavy having 25% accuracy it's a tough pill to swallow.
You mean that's not what you want to do?
That's not, no. You flip a coin twice, every time you get double heads or double tails.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
Those two, you're hitting. It's not good RNG. It's not a good play. So you can't load up on heavies like we've seen in some of the previous ones.
We have seen on Braigs' side, he does have that Satyr. We've seen that the crowd buffing has been incredibly potent, especially for Orzhos out in the Meterless side. There could be a precedent where Braigs just sits that Satyr up in the back and dances his heart out right back there. But then if they get close, the Satyr also has Flame Breath attacks, which they're not going to do huge damage to the Undead squad, but it does put him in a position where his light isn't just completely stranded, doing absolutely nothing.
To be fair, it's done decent damage. It's not like incredible, but it's done decent damage, I would say.
Yeah, as we said before, not a lot of lights on Basilisk's side. He's got the Wolf and he's got the Secutor. Can be pretty potent. On Braigs' side, not that many heavies really go around either. Both of these teams are somewhat diverse. Basilisk has been known to take double Undead Legionnaire and an Undead Summoner and just stack out the field. As we saw Thursday's matches, though, if there are too many buffs flying around, the Summoners can start to fizzle. It really starts to bring down some of the quality if you have like a buff or a nerf style team. Braigs having the Cultist and the Satyr could potentially push us over the memory limit. Could be interesting if suddenly the Undead Summoner's not allowed to summon because there's too many things happening on the map. That does only happen on 5v5 maps, but you know.
And that might affect map selection, saying, oh, do I want to be on the 5v5 or 4v4 map? Because on 4v4 map, I can get more use out of things like that.
We do see the Valkyrie coming down on Braigs' team. Mystic, on Thursday's match, Mystic's Valkyrie was also incredibly strong. That was versus Braigs. Being able to stack up the endgame gear, which will be changed in the future tournament patch. Being able to stack up the endgame gear, but also being able to combo attack 1 into affinity attack 4. If you've got a build up like that for against Basilllisk team here, the affinity attack 4 spam would be absolutely insane versus a bunch of undead legionnaires. They're extremely weak to affinity attacks. Could be devastating. We did see some Murmillo gameplay out of Braigs on Thursday as well, but I don't think Basilllisk's team really gets set up for Murmillo gameplay. Not a lot of bleeding to be had either, so the Mongrel's probably just going to be benchwarming tonight or today.
It depends. It depends. The real question is, how heavy does Basilllisk require? How heavy do they lean on the heavy? How heavily do they lean on a heavy? Because a Mongrel is really great if you have one heavy as like the linchpin of a defense. The Mongrel bleeds it, walks around, your heavy dies, and then he just walks around knocking people down and being a nuisance. And if you get that much value, trading 1 for 1 like that isn't bad if you have a game plan. But it is fair that unless you see something like a Minotaur that really threatens your mediums, it's probably not happening nearly as much this time around.
There's a lot of heavy units have indomitable will or deliberate nature, making them immune to stuns, petrifies, fears roots, all that good stuff. The Mongrel would be able to come in and apply a bleed to, say, like a Sam Knight coming in or a Cyclops coming in. But in the realm of hobbling kick, or I can't remember what the other kick is called, but he's got a kick that knocks down and one that knocks down and stuns. The undead legionnaires don't always have immunity to all of those things. They might have immunity to, I think it might be the physical ones, so like petrify, freeze, but I don't think they have immunity to like fear and other thing like stuns.
Yeah.
Again, that's
one other thing to remember is the Mongrel can poison those skeletons. They are not immune to poison by any means.
We did see that.
And the obnoxiousness does not stop there. So I wouldn't. I'm not.
The main issue with
I'm gassing up the Yeti, not the
the
Mongrel,
main issue with running the Mongrel in to poison one of these skeletons is if he's feet planted and one of these skeletons turns on him, he's just going to get fear of death and to insta kill, because that medium to light damage increase is just absolutely insane.
It's devastating. It is devastating. I'm saying maybe even just getting a here you go. I need to just cash out. I've already killed the heavy. I wanted to kind of cash out your Mongrel, get a poison off, and start dealing damage, but don't want to do that against undead summoner summons, because that's a complete waste of time. So you just gotta be careful. I don't think it's used to be too high. I think the big one for Braigs is definitely the Cyclops. Cyclops has an advantage just size-wise against the undead summoner and legionnaires that Basilllisk has liked to use so far. Does magic damage, which is pretty epic, and the Satyr paired with the Cyclops can give the Cyclops enough I to do some damage if you're playing your Satyr well, and provides more magical support via things like Flame Breath, and Hair of the Dog is huge for getting rid of the obnoxious CC that Undead loves to spam.
Absolutely.
I think
we saw the Bony Boys bringing out the Sinister Laughter last time with huge AoE Petrify and I down spam.
Yes,
could be pretty debilitating if you don't have immunity to those.
Yes, so you need to be careful, but I think you could get a lot of good use out of the Cyclops here. In terms of less useful things, if you are able to ward Basilllisk off of the skeletons, some of your ranged units, Peltis, whatnot, opens up a little. Otherwise, they're going to be warming the bench a bit. Really don't see Bandit working out most of the time. I think picking a Bandit and something else, because a Bandit almost requires 2 lights, right? Picking that is just begging for something terrible to happen to you via an undead spam. So
yeah,
lots of interesting applications here. Just some surface level thoughts. I think Yushis has some decent, just because his moveset really does make him quite flexible, and most of the time he was spending a lot of his fights in a pretty disadvantaged fight where he really didn't want to be, and he still put in decent work. And he's just a chunky man. And
we're
getting
about,
a unit that could trade would be nice.
we're about to head into this. I'm gonna put up the prediction, 10-minute submission period on that. If you got channel points, feel free to spend them. We're gonna transfer over to the map selection. My sub goal meter for some reason just filled all the way up, even though it still only says 4, so I'm not really sure what's happening there, but
let it be known that we are getting 2K channel points on Basilllisk. Google has told me.
Basilllisk has first pick of the map today, so we'll see where they end up wanting to go first. Gonna head right into this first match. Nobody, to be some interesting things so far. No one's chosen Palace Iblis. Nobody has chosen.
Oh, Rosto.
Yeah, no one's chose Road Snow. There's a they're doing the gentleman's agreement of both grabbing a Ursula unit so they can at least look at the map paint. It is going to be a straight slugfest on this map.
Yeah,
this is Pitt Senior.
Yeah. Things to think about if you really want to get an advantage. If you were prepping for this final, they both had a day off minimum.
And all of the things have been seen, so VODs are out there. If they really wanted to get in there and study their opponent, was an available option.
You can study your opponent. 2, look at the new maps, work out how can I abuse these maps. And if you have that over your opponent, or you know what a map looks like and you're ready to abuse this map and your opponent isn't, it's huge. Because as we've seen in many of these fights, it's one slight differential that leads to the win, and that map can be that slight advantage you have that wins you the fight.
Unfortunately, a lot of the maps for this time around of the tournament, I didn't have the time to put down a lot of placement grids, so a lot of them are just straight, large, flat, open areas, which gives a bit of an advantage towards some teams more than others. But looks like the Valkyrie is actually going to come down. This is going to be an early potential undead counter. That Valkyrie has about the same build of Mystic's Valkyrie from Thursday.
Okay.
We're going to see the undead summoner. I saw that the Valkyrie had the Gungnir spear, which makes it so she can't miss, gives 99 accuracy.
Minotaur is a great option if you want to make that Valkyrie a little uncomfortable. Minotaur or Yeti.
To finish my thought on the maps, a lot of the maps are just large, flat, open areas. There's like, I don't know, maybe 4 of them, maybe 5 of them are not just large, flat, open areas. There's like Mongrel's Maw, X0, Arena Surin, and there was one more that had some props, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Kaltha had a couple of pillars to kind of break up line of sight a little bit, and the pit is not really a large open area, it's a small open area. Oh, Stadium Drias has the potential to not just be a slugfest, but so far nobody has chosen to take the upper platform.
The Oasis, is it? No, it's there's the other one. There's 2 island ones.
Yeah, the Scorched Oasis is still pretty flat. There's no height advantage on there, but yeah, the Scorched Oasis also has the island. Are we gonna see triple Bony Lad? Or
this is incredibly
gonna break his streak here.
This is incredibly dangerous into a Valkyrie. Very dangerous into a Valkyrie. If that Valkyrie gets an Infinity Attack 4 off, you probably lose.
This is the first time Basilllisk has actually chosen not to go triple Bony Lads.
Gungnir incoming, okay.
And the Mongrel pickup. Not quite sure.
Ooh.
Not quite sure what the Mongrel's doing in there. Maybe he can get up on top of that Cyclops before he's able to get in there and start doing any work.
It's just like... See, I think there's a critical mass of heavies you want before you're really going for a Mongrel, in my opinion, and I think that's 2.
I think it's also 2.
I think it's 2. At that point, I'm comfortable picking a Mongrel, because you can double bleed, die, and be happy. You know what I mean? You get 2 kicks off, 1 on each heavy, you die, like you completely lose the Mongrel and do nothing. You're pretty happy with that, because you're going to take like 50-60% of the health of those heavies away. Just, cumulative. Which is not bad at all. But
interesting that we're seeing the Barbarian pick come down here. Barbarian does have the ability to turn into a wolf or turn into a bear, so the Barbarian themselves can cover all 3 weight classes. They also have some totem abilities, which can apply a slight buff to all allies within a certain range.
This Cyclops is kind of in the splash zone. It's either going to get off, depending on how these turn orders go, it might get off the juiciest dispersion beam ever, or it might die in like 15 seconds or get CC'd or something else horrible might happen to it. I might have liked it a little bit back, even if you're kind of sacrificing, but we've got a lot of backline on this team. Tons of people who don't exactly want to be at the front. So it's going to be interesting. Thank you, Yushis. I need to release some recruits.
I think next time for the next tournament patch, I'm going to go through and rework all of the Eusis's little special notes.
I think we should put in like a 1 in 50 chance to get a meme one.
Oh, I'll put a few meme ones in there, but there'll be some actual useful information in there too. Like, oh, did you know bleeds never fall off?
Yeah. Some mechanics things. Ask Eusis, why are my effects applying? Well, according to a limitation in the game's code.
The game code says you can't have that many effects go off on one character.
See, we have this Cyclops in immediate range for the mongrel to go up and fuck with him.
I can't remember what Stupor Kick does. This Cyclops does not have any innate skills on him, by the way. He's got heavy-handed, which makes his melee attacks hit harder, but that's about it.
That's not what you're bringing the Cyclops for most of the time either. Right?
You wanna get him on the you don't want to jump in front of the Cyclops because now his dispersion beam hits your entire team. I think actually getting in the middle might have been a better play.
I think a Stupor Kick is the play, but.
I mean, Stupor Kick, I'm thinking like putting the mongrel in between those 2 units might have been a little bit better.
I was really thinking, are we seeing a YOLO tornado? But yes, important to remember that 1 Affinity 4 isn't the complete end of Ivor. He does have that revive. We've forgotten about the revive before, and I thought it was so Jover when
the undead
Ivor was ready.
The undead summoner does have 2 revives,
which we found does not activate. It only works once. But
no, I think
one has to limit test.
They were saying post-match that it was actually activating twice.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if it comes into play here.
Interesting, boosting the affinity of the Barbarian and not for the Channeler or the Cultist. Looking like she may Oblation here. Maybe this Barbarian. Nope. Okay. I was gonna say maybe the Barbarian has Affinity Attack 4, and you just like double up on the Barbarian and just have her start off with a nuke.
Yeah, that's fair. Gonna get immediately Darkness from Life, presumably, and a skeleton will be making his way into that back line. Barbarian does.
An immediate dispersion beam.
Immediate dispersion beam, presumably, yes. If you strike here, you're a maniac. If you strike here, you're a maniac. There's no way.
Oh, he built this as a melee Cyclops and not as a spellcaster Cyclops.
What? Oh, no.
Does have a cleanse effect. Gonna look to maybe fear off this mongrel.
I just...
Mongrel going in feared. Interesting, no dispersion beam. That's not what I would have expected.
I don't see why you're building a Cyclops melee. I think if you want a melee Cyclops feels like Minotaur at home. Yeah. Melee Cyclops feels like Minotaur at home. Minotaur can do way better things with his time than the Cyclops can. You really want that Cyclops so you have a heavy who can AoE the hell out of mediums who have proven pretty dominant in the past few games.
Although maybe Basilllisk was looking into the potential of they have a Yeti.
Coming, by the way.
They have a Yeti. They probably thought, oh, you got the Yeti, let's just take the Cyclops.
Huge giant eye down here.
Yeah, it's interesting why he passed one of the affinity stacks off to this Barbarian. Oh, we're looking at maybe a water affinity attack to get that move to it. Oh my gosh, that's one of his lives down. I don't know if anyone can deal with this Barbarian in the middle of the team either. If he just sprints straight in and claps down one of those lives.
Better hope this Minotaur at home can take care of it, but that's not a guarantee.
That's a lot of attack damage up on this Barbarian. We're seeing the tactic. That is the first revive effect down.
Yep. Big.
Now we're seeing why he only got one affinity boost here. They're digging around, looking at initiatives. Those initiatives are very bad right now for the side of
Affinity stolen. Thank you. Thank you for the effort. Nice oblation, by the way. Yep, there it goes.
And I don't think she's going to have enough affinity to actually do anything. Yep, it's there it all goes.
Yep. That was painful. That was painful. You just hurt yourself to do nothing, basically.
Not bad damage out of this. Yeah, not bad damage out of that. I think if you focus
oblation
in on
is
one
just
unit,
not a great idea. I think you just need to focus something down. Your barbarian's in a great spot. Turning it into a 4v5 would be very great.
Oh, we're gonna see a meteor summon
meteor.
potentially.
I would be summoning meteor here.
Interestingly, if you just saw in his affinity set, the undead summoner here has dark affinity attacks, but has a fire-based staff. Not quite optimal for the build here. Could have
the
gone
thing for me is, you summon the skeleton. What if you summon the skeleton, the barbarian chops you down, and the skeleton doesn't take a turn? Then you really feel like shit, and it's gonna be bad. And the barbarian's getting another turn.
There's an interesting precedent set with the undead summoner having 2 dark affinity attacks, but not being able to cast them. There's a lot of spells that the undead summoner likes to have that costs not that much JP, or if you want to save up a little bit of JP. No one has it, but there's a move called Reaper, which only the undead summoner can have. I think it's a 4 affinity orb ability, and you poke someone with your finger, and after 3 turns they just die, which is huge when you have multiple revive effects.
Yeah. Okay, so beautiful steel affinity. Now the question is, what are you doing with it? You need to do something bad.
He was hoping for enough to have that affinity 4. Looks like he's gonna hit him with maybe the fire 3, or he's just gonna save it.
I think a sleep might not be the worst thing. You could build more affinity later and just freeze this guy and get him out of your way for a while. Killing him, because you're not getting a kill. Ooh. Ice Storm isn't bad. The sleet's extremely cheap. Yep. See the sleet come out.
Ooh, 109 is still not bad though.
Take that.
And just
it looks
take
like
that.
They turned it looks like they turned the subtitles on.
Epic. Okay, throws here need to be good.
A little close for comfort for this Gunir.
Yeah.
Has super range, but not effect range increase, so it looks like the spear could go that far, but it can't do anything when it actually is that far.
Yeah.
This mongrel's he got his kick off, so he's got the bleed poison off, but man, he's just not having a good day.
Well, and it's against, Minotaur at home, so it's not doing as much as you'd wish.
The Minotaur at home hasn't taken a turn yet.
No, he had one.
He's had the one turn. He has not taken a follow-up turn yet.
Air form.
Guide me.
Okay, well now this Valkyrie's not in the greatest position she was about 2 seconds ago. A little bit more awkward.
There is a thing to note.
Remedy.
This is a cleanse. There's a thing to note though. When you turn into a bear or a beast, you don't have the full kit. Whenever you take a specific skill in your normal form, they will also grant you, if you buy combo attack 1 for your Gunir, you'll get combo attack 1 for your bear. But you don't get all of the attacks like bite and pull down. You don't get thick fat and a whole bunch of other things like that. It's not a perfect bear. It's kind of like a 70% bear.
Yeah.
I actually think...
I think the biggest thing is the bear counterattack spam. It probably isn't brought along, which is noxious.
I think that I saw for a moment there, it looked like they were thinking about freezing.
Oh.
That was a 6% chance to block, by the way. For a moment there, they were thinking about freezing the Cyclops, which I think is actually a bad decision because you want that bleed to be ticking.
You want him to be suffering.
Gonna potentially see the
Is
splintering
sending her
bones.
back a good idea?
It doesn't really create that much space for you.
It gets it in Cyclops range if you want to do a heavy swing attempt to kill.
And the undead
cleanse has already been.
if the Undead Legionnaire that got summoned gets a turn, he'll also box the Barbarian out.
Yeah, he'll box out. I think his Splintering Bones is the play here. I think Teleport and Tornado are not it. Because where are you going if you're teleporting out? Like, you just walk back and the Barbarian chases after you?
Well,
you can go way far back.
Yeah, you can teleport further, but then you're out of spellcast range.
You're out of spell range. Yeah, you just send her back, and your undead... I believe your undead goes if you check the list. Your undead goes before and will completely box this Barbarian out and make them very sad.
No, it's been a little bit.
Oh.
No, yeah, the undead.
Yeah,
the
Bodil
undead
does
summon
not
will
go before the undead summon. The summon will box this poor Barbarian out. Yep. Perfect. Now the bear can do...
Oh, he does got a fair amount of skills, but you also don't get the bear per level stat growth. You get whatever set in the stat sets, which is probably stat set 0, which would make you weaker than a homegrown bear.
Yep. Petrified is pretty disgusting if it hits, but if it doesn't hit,
yeah.
By the way, you're doing better than a coin flip, 68, 70%. So 7 out of 10 times this goes great, but man, that'd be gross if it didn't work.
Howard pull down does do about 5 hits minimum worth of damage. That animation was fast as hell.
Yeah.
What the heck was that?
Big.
Are we gonna see the Valkyrie? Are we gonna see the Valkyrie?
He should be clapping this
clapped.
Barbarian right now.
I mean, heavy strike on the petrified barbarian, or either of these would probably just kill them.
I think you're asking yourself which one has more threat right now, and the answer is probably the Valk, honestly. But she's petrified.
For 4 turns, yeah. So
yeah, probably.
He's trying.
If you can do it,
trying to see how much SP they want to spend. I think action economy in this game is just like any other turn-based game, is just too valuable. If you have the chance to knock a unit, you might as well take it, because now you've got 1 unit knocked, 1 unit.
I think the weird part is
you
didn't even look. You didn't even look at the damage that the attack was going to do to the Valk. But I kind of, and now this guy
gets skellied by the way.
Yeah, gets skellied by the way, which is why not check your chances on that Valk. Fortunately, she is not going for a hot minute. She's got freaking forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit.
Because she's not. I don't believe she's Baron. She's
No, it is Baron because.
Oh, it is Baron. Okay.
Yeah, because the barbarian just died.
Oh yeah, you're right. JR, the critical mass of heavies has been reached in a roundabout way.
The mongrel has gone all in. Actually, I think Stupor Kick might have been a better play here.
Oh, Raging Bear is available. Ooh. Okay.
Maybe we were a little bit wrong about the bear. Maybe Bragg really stepped up the bear there. Has a skill range up, but not effect range up. So some of these AOE's are not reaching as far as you'd like. Affinity burn. It's decent damage to these legionnaires, but steals offensive affinity.
Yeah, do you yoink some affinity back? Those two might just be plinking affinity away from each other for a while.
This Valkyrie really wants to get going, hasn't had a turn to do anything yet. Spell Blast would be massive, would completely fill up her affinity bar and allow her to get an affinity attack 4 next turn if she does not get feared.
Yeah, but that's predicated on you not having something horrible happen to you in that time, which it has almost every other time. Spell Blast just does a ton of damage.
Is kind of interesting. Her Spell Blast is reaching 1 extra tile, and that's the only ability that gets affected by it.
This is like 700 or 800 damage Spell Blast, by the way. No, it's not that much.
It's like 300, but that's a full affinity meter. And this
must get some armor.
This Chandler does not have enough to steal the affinity from the Valkyrie.
Only to boost.
Digging around, thinking what they want to apply it to here. If you have enough for a healing move, it might be worthwhile to heal the Undead Summoner before he's about to get nuked.
Clapped.
Oh, looking at Sleep maybe on the other channel.
Oh, yeah, Sleep on the other channel is pretty great, actually. If the freeze goes off.
An interesting thing is if you have enough SP to cast Oblation, you can actually Oblation your own unit to break the freeze or petrify and give them some affinity up for the road too. Oh, we're about to see some I debuff spam. For the person in chat asking, immune to freeze gets applied when you get sleeted, so that way if someone hits you with another sleet, you can't immediately get frozen again. So it's an effect from the
life
actual
is
skill.
available. Death from life is available, and it gives you a good chance to get a meteor down if you want to.
But you already have the medium summon.
Saving it for meteor.
Oh, meteor. Sorry, I thought you said medium.
Yeah, I said you already have the summon down, so why not potential to darkness from life and just drop a meteor on them? Because your turn will come up much.
You are getting a little low in the old HP department,
but
though.
you're dying in one hit from this Valk either way, right?
Yeah.
So why not give yourself another turn and YOLO it? I think Splintering Bones doesn't take care of the issue. You can do no damage to this Valk. Let's see what happens here.
If
Curses
this,
are coming down.
Yeah, like
Freeze is
Oblation
incoming
right here
soon,
on the
too.
channeler would actually be insane.
Let's see if they see it. It's by no means guaranteed. I think a Sleet doesn't take care of anything. Combo attack does decent damage, but remember,
It's not bad
Ivor still
damage.
has his revive, I believe.
Yeah, you got to get rid of it eventually, though.
Seize
I'm
the
not
affinity
sure-
oblation. Seize the... You can see the target under your own ally. Do they do it? No,
Nah,
combo
they're gonna-
attack.
Ooh.
Unfortunate.
They got a failed combo there off of that. The
That
AI
sucks.
messed up the combo.
It happens. Knockback not doing much here.
Glower is probably the play
Oh,
here because
Glower's-
if you can
yeah.
stop that. Oh, and it
It
saps
steals affinity.
it saps a little bit of affinity.
Or do you just give everyone their I back? Okay, he's cleansing.
I have a feeling this Valkyrie's about to. Oh, that was considered a crit.
Yeah, you
Because
saw
Grave
that.
Rod
She
only
brought the
applies
shield
on
up.
crit.
No, you saw she brought the shield
Yeah.
up and he pierced her shield.
Yeah, it's still
That
it's
was the
hilarious. I think a super
We
kick
get-
here is absolutely insane. This Gungnir turning into a bear gets crit instantly and dies.
We killed. Okay. Yikers, Gungnir
This
did
is
almost nothing.
very quickly turning in Braigs' favor
and now
because
the
he's got
curse
that.
of a...
He's got that affinity attack 4 just sitting in the back pocket, ready for Valkyrie's next turn, which is coming up
And
next.
the curse comes right back out, so you're right back at square one. Where you have serious issues with if this Valkyrie goes, you lose. Probably. Brave Laughter, not bad, but...
These arcane
you're-
units seem incredibly tanky. The question is, how do you deal with them? Like, they have no CC immunities, so if you can, like, get directly on top of them
Here
or
comes
CC them, they're pretty
Affinity,
weak,
by the
but
way.
let's see if she even has Affinity 4. It looks like she probably doesn't.
Oh, yikers.
Blinding Flash is actually
No.
massive in Meterless. That's a 4-turn blind.
That was a noise. No Affinity 4, that's
Looking
ugly.
yeah. You have a lot of affinity to snatch there. Sorry, you have a lot of affinity to cast Affinity Attack 4 there, and when they were building the unit, they presumably knew how much affinity they could generate. Interesting they chose not to go with the Affinity Attack 4.
Because we saw it was devastating in multiple fights last time when it got the Affinity attack off. You have to steal from the Valkyrie if you're going for an Affinity steal here.
The
She
Valkyrie
is.
does have, she does have a healing beam, but she also has an ability called Mark of the Einherjar, which
Oh,
makes
she gets
it
to go again.
which makes it so
This means
that
she's
you
gonna-
boost a unit's stats all the way through the roof. You just need to get rid of that affinity before she can cast it.
Oh,
Still not
no
enough for the
fire
affinity 4. So close,
Yikers.
just short.
Oh, 3 kills the mongrel, does it? Is that what you were
a,
saying?
it'll apply a poison. A pretty strong poison.
$80 damage over 2. That probably definitely kills the mongrel. Do you just get this mongrel out of here? Nope. Gonna go for the other arcane unit. Had to spend the affinity. You don't want to give a free steal to the other channeler. That poison.
Here comes
Bam,
the poison
40
spam.
down.
I think you have to use Oblation on your... Oh, no, never mind. The other channelers is awake now. I failed to see
Yeah,
that.
she is awake and ready to rock.
Do you run it back with the combo attack and hope that your meters don't get flubbed again?
Well, here's the thing. You hit both meters on the undead melee, and he's back for round 2. He has not revived yet.
I don't think summoning is the play unless you're going to get healed by the other channeler. If you get healed by your channeler here, then it is absolutely worth to summon a wolf in here. Because these wolves actually have affinity drain. They'll just sit in the middle of the enemy's arcane units and just make them hell for a moment. Drain life, that does heal the cultist. It also will set the summon here for a revive.
Yep.
168 HP on that. Holy cow. This undead summoner's feeling a little uncomfortable. Really low in the affinity department. Not a good hit chance. Low on HP. Already used one of his revives.
I think you're darkness from lifing here. But I've been wrong every other time they've done it, so... I think there's no... Imagine, you know, having a meteor at this point. Glittering Bones is just gonna miss. And now he's just gonna walk right back into you, or even worse, into your channeler, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, I can't remember. Well, I mean, we'll see here, validate if there is a second auto revive.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
He wants
If
to
there
get the quick,
isn't...
he wants to get the kick attack off because that's going to apply a bleed to this channeler.
Bleed and poison.
Oh, just poison.
Oh, unfortunato.
I think that the bleed is only on the super kick, maybe.
Flower not bad here.
I see you.
I think... Nope. Immune to fear.
Ooh. Block. We're now in the die by the undead summon arc, by the way, not live by the undead summon arc.
Digging around in their skills here, seeing what they could potentially do.
I think you have plenty of time to boost affinity. They have to get the mongrel off the casters here.
Ooh, air to air.
Yikes. Firebomb not bad. Remember, Ivor is out of revives. Did something kill Ivor there? Did I see that right?
I don't think so. It would have gotten close. He got the freeze down. The summon has now disappeared.
I really think that summon should have been put into a meteor cast. I think it would have done so much more. It did like 60 damage and fucked up a CC you had.
I wonder if he's looking at maybe summoning Skeleton 1 right in front of the back line there. Oh, he's gonna summon in front of himself. Nope, he's sticking around. Skeleton 1 down. If that skeleton decides that it wants to play the game and uses a Fear of Death or something on one of these back lines.
That's a big if. That is a big if.
For the person calling for Tornado in chat, Tornado in Ragnarok's mod was depending on which class is using it, the Undead Summoner's Tornado, I believe, is single target and just sends one unit away. It does not affect the whole battlefield. That way, there was a little bit of a difference between some of the classes.
Spellblast here, I don't think they saw it. Spellblast hits this Undead Summoner too and either gets the revive away or kills him. I don't know if they saw because the Undead Summoner was kind of at the edge of their screen. Spellblast here is a huge play. It hits everything.
Yeah, but it
And
does
you do
break
not
the
wanna
freeze
be-
on that Undead Legionnaire who's currently frozen.
He takes massive damage from it. I'm not... But if you can get the Summoner out of the way, you know, your Mongrel's Jay chillin'. Icarus Wings I can see as well. You completely lock out the...
Yeah,
Lock
the
out the Chandler here.
can't.
She
She doesn't
ton
have
of
line of sight
trouble.
of anybody now.
Okay, poison should be over soonish. Now remember, that was poison from the fire attack.
I think you can combo attack.
I was say, I think Affinity Oblation is mildly suicidal.
I almost wonder if combo attack on Ivor was the play.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that
Look at
undead
all
melee.
those undead melee.
Yeah,
He's gonna
Ragnarok
fucking
has
go
told us.
sicko mode.
Ragnarok has told us in the past the undead melee will get 2 turns in a row, but the tracker is showing it with its massively increased I right now. Oop, there goes the right error. We've hit the generation cap.
Yep.
Letting them know in the chat that they have reached the memory cap there. Effects might not go through and summons may not come down. That's a known issue.
Tornadoes him away. Oh, literally 4 blocks to the left. Tornado has really been a letdown for some people this run around. Oh my goodness. This undead summoner is feeling a little bad right now.
Yeah, this is
He
looking.
will darkness from life.
This is looking a little bit in favor of Braigs here for taking the first victory, but Skelly Boy does have enough to do something. Not sure what though. Meteor is not great anymore because there's no way to hit multiple enemy units without hitting your own units.
Mm-hmm. Might have to though. I mean, she's probably dead. She's stunned. Do you just, you know, sacrifice your channeler here to get a ton of damage on the other 2?
He wants to see how much damage, but he's not entirely sure how much it will do. That Valkyrie is really tanky, and she's full on light affinity. This summon meteor is going to do 0 damage to her.
Oh, yikes. So maybe you put it back and just try to snipe the mongrel?
It's possibly the only play.
You don't want to be throwing shit at these 2. It's never worth. You need something 100% accurate. By the way, Minotaur at home has not taken a turn in a hot minute.
Yeah, he got I downed and slow turned, so he's thinking about his choices. He's really staring off into the distance. Actually, he's blinded right now, so he's just not doing a whole lot. Basilllisk here kind of floundering around trying to find some semblance of footing. A knockback would actually be kind of devastating. Not devastating, but a knockback could be decent. We already know that the Valkyrie's immune to fears. I'm just, at this point of the match, unless Basilllisk pulls some crazy play out of nowhere, I just don't see the path to victory.
Yeah, I would agree.
It tried to apply a blind, but it can't.
And now Monkey is that. By the way, the mongrel has gotten a ton of work in.
Yeah,
Don't know if they
way more
read the
than we thought.
goon. Well, again, with that bear change, you got that critical mass of heavies that you could fuck around with, and he's just not been focused down properly at all. And the real question is, you know, when you summon all these skeletons and you leave that mongrel untouched, what's gonna happen? Well, he's just gonna kick the shit out of your backline. And even if he doesn't deal a ton of damage per hit, he's gonna poison and bleed him and just all sorts of nasty things to him to make him feel bad. Look at that. Poison, bleeding and poison trying to apply. I think it doesn't. We are at the overflow limit still. Look at that I. Oh my goodness.
I think the game might have... There it goes. It froze up for a second.
It was thinking.
Well, sometimes when I flip who the host is, the game starts behaving for a second.
Oh, she's dead. You just get the kill here, right? Free strike kill. Yep. Free strike kill happens.
I almost wonder if she stunned, poisoned, or she couldn't be poisoned in blood because we hit the cap there, but I almost wonder if it was worth the turn on the Cyclops and just try to get rid of him. Oh, there's the double turn.
So that undead gets 2 turns, but it was like 60 damage. Like, it just feels like a big who cares. Big nothing burger.
Yeah, I think that this fight is a bit wrapped up. Got to fight till the end, but I just don't see a path to victory for Basilllisk on this one. I think you think about the choices of the characters you've chosen this match, and you just run it back on the next one.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, it all goes back to how are you building your Cyclops there? Because the Cyclops was in the perfect spot to get a team-wide dispersion beam. Team-wide. Basically collapse the whole enemy team with a dispersion beam there. Completely different looking fight. But now we're at this, oh my god, any darkness from lights just to lose everything. And now he's playing the fool because he's literally got nothing to do. It is not great at all. And darkness from life, one, you don't have the SP for it. Two, it might kill you. Might just straight up kill you. And no teleport is going to save you for long. You're going to get ran down. I is still complete garbage. And there's plenty of range characters and lights. She's just going to clap him. Does she not? Yeah, she just claps him to death. And when she claps him, I believe he's got another revive, if the revive works. But if she just claps him, he loses the summon too. Okay, ameliorate. Mongrel's like, okay, I'll go kill this other heavy that's been trying to play the game. By the way, if you're wondering when the Cyclops goes, it's all the way at the bottom of the I list.
He's really chilling.
He's taking a nappy. And look at the miserable.
The chance is so bad.
Yeah, the blinding light is disgusting.
There's I down.
She bounces back.
I just don't know how you ever deal enough damage to kill either of these arcane units.
You don't.
This cultist is full HP with that lifesteal ability.
Yeah, and the ameliorate from the channeler. By the way, the skeleton is a little tuckered out after taking his 2 turns as well. So, you know.
Yeah, he got the double turn off and now he's just chilling.
Yeah, and we're on the 15th version of I must get some armor. Ivor's dead to a good attack here. I think you want to use your affinity first before you go for a combo.
Yeah, I think you just guarantee the death with an affinity attack.
No.
There's the
Combo
second
happens.
revive.
There's the second revive, so 2 revives does work. Important to know. Unfortunately, you're gonna need more than 2. Might need 9 if you're gonna be. Oh, and the defense up just makes this even more miserable. Fire Cloud. Oh no, same affinity problem. I forgot about that.
Undead melee is gonna go on the next turn here.
You need to start plonking at the Sleet the melee. Yeah, deals a ton of damage and freezes him.
I'm not sure if that's ever actually worth. Mostly because
He's
that
gone.
happens. I mean, this undead summoner still can't do anything. He's
Yeah, look at that
He's
strike
thinking.
damage. I don't know what you're talking about.
And darkness reigned supreme.
I must get some armor for the 15th time, the Lorax said.
That's all she's got. Looking to maybe get the Cyclops in a back attack scenario. That's a blue hit. Group attack.
Whoa.
From downtown.
Down.
I think all of them forgot that the Valkyrie had that. Now, the group attack is actually insane if the Cultist has line of sight, because she'll steal affinity on her autos, even if it is a group attack based one, because it forces a unit to strike.
With the death of the Cyclops, it is well and truly over. Yeah, you just combo his ass. I don't think it's worth doing anything to Ivor.
Unfortunate. That's the second time the AI has messed up her combo meter.
That is a yikers.
This undead.
To be fair, we saw a smattering of crits, so now it's time for some blues.
Yeah. This Legionnaire has nothing left in the tank either.
Ooh, gosh.
Suddenly the Valkyrie has a... Oh, it's because the Undead Summoner's not blinded anymore. I was gonna say, suddenly the Valkyrie can actually get hit.
Yeah, the blind ended. By the way, the blind was devastating. I mean, you just clap Ivor to death here, right? 35%, that's no good.
Shield broken.
Oh, shield broken's not bad. Not good, but... Quick
I think at this point it's not gonna matter. This is just the last few turns of a... it's just letting it go all the way to the end, letting it run its course. The meteor, drop it on yourself.
Yeah, oh, you can't even drop it on yourself. It's so tragic.
Here it goes.
Hey, if he had... And, you know, here's the thing. If he had done that, if that was the second time doing it, the game's not over. If that was his second time doing it, the game's not over. But he spent so much time fucking around with these undead summons, and they really didn't do much this fight. In fact, one could say they were actively detrimental, because you got undead loads and ruined a Petrify on that Valkyrie, and she just came in and blinded your whole team.
If you... if the first thing you do is use Darkness from Life and then drop a meteor while the enemy team is still in a giant pile, the amount of damage is actually insane.
It's disgusting, and we've seen him do that before, so I'm kind of wondering why Basilllisk committed so hard to the Skeleton 3. Like, because the Valkyrie got all her AoEs off while you were grouped up, but you didn't get all your AoEs off while they were grouped up, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that poison, though, huh?
Looking like it's going to be wrapped up here. This mongrel wanting to do more damage than 22, but just can't find it in him. It doesn't matter,
it's just, you hit him in the back, right? Just stop. He's already
Round 1 is going to go to Braigs. While they are choosing the next map, I am going to run to the restroom real quick.
Okay.
Forgot I told them we were going to be restarting the emulator really quick after the match. I had to go use the restroom and forgot to tell them to do that.
Because of the read error. Yeah.
Letting them know they need to switch the meters back off, but we're going to launch right back into it. We just needed to restart the emulator really quick after reading that, heading that memory read error. It won't really stop it from happening again, but it does let us know when it is happening. They're opting not to turn the subtitles back on this time.
You don't want to hear, I need some armor for the 15th time today?
I should really think about getting some armor.
Yeah, I generally don't go into combat engagements naked either. But it is a style choice. Style points, I guess.
Let's see what Basilllisk chooses as a counter map. We're going for another wide open one. I believe the spacing on this one is a little bit wider though. You gotta love the Gladius special of it's just a bunch of wide open fields. But the spacing on this one is a little bit further. If you have a team that has maybe an archer or something, there's a little bit more work you could potentially put in with an archer here. Immediate snap pick on the undead summoner.
I mean, I'll say one thing. He's committed.
This is true. We were talking to Basilllisk before, and he said he just likes skeletons. So the man is committed into skeletoning it up.
You can ask JR. I am 100% a skeleton sympathizer. The first thing we do every fight is the skeletons and the heavies go over to me.
So we did see the item choices on Braigs' Cyclops here is more towards a spell casting Cyclops.
Which is really good, by the way. I think if you're going Cyclops, you should be using it for its spell casting ability. I have a deep sympathy towards using the Cyclops as a spellcaster. I think that's what makes it the best. And each heavy in this game, as it should be, has their own role. The Yeti is the kind of AoE CC'er with his Frost Breath, do a lot of damage. Cyclops is more just burst oriented, has his Glower. The Bear is a horrific counter-attacker with self-healing. And the Behemoth, if built right, is even better at counterattacking and is probably the best just taking hits tank that you can find. So
we're going to see the Secutor coming down so that Braigs cannot grab another heavy here without some sort of
remember, the goal
being
is
given.
When you're picking a light is you want two heavies to be slapping at, right? Barbarian comes out. Barbarian did quite a bit of work in. It did take a lot of early hits. I think the Mongol's dead without that Barbarian's early play. And remember, the Barbarian got basically a turn 1 revive force, right? Like, just walked right in and clapped the hell out of that undead summoner.
But you're not going to be able to get it this time because the Water Affinity attack 2 is not going to be able to reach that undead summon.
Yeah.
The Secutor pick here is actually not that bad because Secutors are strong against other lights, and if a heavy unit gets picked, like Secutors are good for being a pre-heavy counter. If you take the Secutor, the enemy team has to think really hard about which heavies they pick, because if that Secutor ever gets in a position where they can use sprinting attack and backstab you, you're probably just going to get one shot.
As I say, the Secutor feels like the most pure heavy counter out of all the lights, you know what I mean? Like, they're the most focused on taking a heavy and just making them disappear.
We're gonna see Undead Summoner probably chilling in the back, as we saw on this map's pick in one of the other days. Sorry, I'm gonna stretch a little bit. Oh, we saw on this map pick the other day, it looks like there's vegetation and things that can block your walking pattern, but they don't. So this is a completely open map here. Putting the Centurion right in the front, kind of an interesting play. Not a lot of AoE on the side of Basilllisk this time around, other than the Undead Summoner having Summon Meteor. That's about it. Both teams are looking
And
more
to be fair, when he had
damage-focused.
a pretty decent chance to use that meteor, it didn't really happen.
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of melee focus, not a lot of buff and nerf going on this time, so we might not see a memory access read error this time. they might be able to keep it under the limit.
That's a dream, is it not?
There's something funny about choosing a map that will... It's still a slugfest map, but it gives you the opportunity to place your units farther away, and both teams just pile up their units into the corner as far as they can so they can get close to each other.
Do you think that we see some pit gaming in this best of 5?
Oh, almost certainly. I think the placement here was kind of raw. I think you put the undead summon directly behind the bear and put like the bear and undead summon in the front and everyone kind of flanking them, because
you know what I really would have liked to
the undead summon can get line of sight over the bear.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see something like a Peltas on Basilisk side. I think is not exactly easy to
I don't even think he has an archer, just the Goodyear.
Oh yeah, we saw how that went last time, and going Gunir against a Secutor and expecting your bear thing to go okay is not a play. It is a play, but it is not a good one.
I think if you swap the Centurion with the bear in the placement here, it makes it so that the undead summoner could use Darkness from Life and immediately chuck a meteor over the top of the bear's head. But without that, you're not really getting a whole lot off here. We're gonna see the same strat coming out this time. But we're turtling up a little here. This wolf is built to support his team. He's got a utility with Lupus and Lupus 2. The bear's gonna come around town, maybe. Braigs has shown that he wants Basilllisk to walk into him, and Basilllisk looks like he might just take that. Blocking out your Secutor.
Yeah, but I was about to say, Secutors have not a great time, and you need to make contact with the Cyclops before it gets going. And I feel like that sprint attack, where it might actually work with the bear, you know, not being in the way. But look how many, it's like 3 extra steps, and now the Mongrel's gonna get in there. The Mongrel can very easily.
He does have range. The problem is if you get in range, you got either the Undead Legionnaire on this side, who's there to follow up, or if you go to the other side, the Secutor can get behind you.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, just goes for the running tack anyway. On the untouched heavy.
Kind of breaking his own turtle stance here. I think that the turtle play was actually not bad.
It wasn't. Unfortunately, if this undead summoner gets a turn anytime soon, it might get ugly.
Wants to steal the affinity, but doesn't have enough SP to do it. I believe you also need line of sight. Do you just tornado the undead summon and hope undead summoner and hope it gets closer to you?
That is a play. Is it the play?
Affinity boost.
Instead, she just boosts herself. Okay.
Interesting. Digging around in here, looking at some things. Probably looking to see what he's immune to. Orders does give this Legionnaire a boost if he's within a couple, like 1 or 2 tiles of the Centurion, and also gets a boost because he's within a couple of tiles of the Undead Summoner. The Centurion also gives I think it's a flat 10 defense boost to any mediums within 1 tile. 24% chance. Immediate back attack. Mongrel said, I ain't taking your shit.
And Dispersion Beam.
Can't quite reach.
I didn't see him.
Devastating Glare is actually massive. That could potentially be a 2-person. Oh no, he's got effect range, or he's got range up, but not effect range up.
Oh, and we see another effect range issue. Oh no.
It's not that big a deal. Things like Glower can still reach, but yeah, if an attack has like Pierce or something where it hits multiple people,
he's just gonna walk in and get into the good, you know. Oh, by the way, the blind on that skeleton is no bueno. Even though the skeleton's probably gonna grave laughter here, it's not great. Do you really want to be walking in front of that bear as a barbarian? Yeah.
I think we're about to see a Skelly Boy.
I would love to see just drop a meteor on their back. You know, just get you have grouped up targets. I understand why you do this. I don't know. Maybe I am disrespecting the skeleton a little too much. This does nothing. Roam is fine, I guess. But you get into blocking issues.
Generates 2 SP. This Centurion is built entirely around just buffing your team. Reprimand clears all status effects, I believe. Looking for a motivate angle. I think this Mongrel is going to Scraping Claws the Centurion right in the face and apply a bleed. She does have the capabilities to cleanse herself, though.
Yep. See what the doggo does.
The wolf wants to move into position, but
this support doggo, or is it this aggro doggo?
It's kind of both.
Once you get around Paul and Howl.
Once you get around level 15, the lines between full specialization starts to get a little blurred because you have a little extra JP left over.
Doggo schmoovin'.
This he doesn't go for a while, and that's the Chandler gets another turn. I think you look around for like a sleet or something out here. I'm pretty sure the Centurion's gonna be immune to sleep. No.
Is checking. Confusion, Charm, and Blind. Sleet is 100% available.
It looks like he's trying to verify it in his own brain. He kind of didn't believe it, that it doesn't have Indomitable Will. Doesn't have it. Oof, that forced the Centurion to turn to the right too, due to RNG reasons there, but that Mongrel now gets a side attack on Scraping Claws.
Yeah, that's gonna be gross.
Holy cow!
Holy shit!
Goodbye,
and the
Secutor.
Barbarian goes in for another instant kill. And here's the thing. Now it's completely free to go into bear form. There's no lights to counter the heavies.
Scraping Claws looks like super kick.
Super kick. Super kick. Super kick. Super kick party. I was about to say you have to, right? Now it's dead to the bleed.
The reason that Barbarian does so much damage, earlier they were looking at it, they put a bunch of attack and physical attack stats up, and technically the water affinity attacks take melee weapon into account, so it's counted as a physical attack. I don't believe it's a spell attack. So when you get that attack off, that's just guaranteed tons of free damage.
Kind of feels like this bear's up Shit's Creek and the paddle isn't working.
the
because this Barbarian...
The paddle got water affinity attacked in half.
Yeah,
No,
the
all
water.
affinity attacks, all affinity attacks act like that. Water affinity and rags just allows you to also move with it.
Okay, this is not bad.
The paddle got water affinity attack 2 in half, and the boat is very quickly getting full of holes.
Yeah. And it's starting to get a little murky at the bottom of the boat. Oh boy. And we're now seeing another game where we're waiting for the Skeleton 3 to fucking do anything, and it's not.
And he's really taking his sweet time. We know the
He's really
channeler's
taking
gonna
his-
get. We know the channeler's gonna get another turn before that undead legionnaire. Even the summon is even gonna get its first turn.
Yeah, it's just gross.
Wants to try and generate a little free affinity with a strike here.
And again, the Undead Summoner feels really great when you're facing AI. They won't abuse you, but we're not facing AI. We're facing other human beings. They know exactly how to abuse what you're doing. And that's
Yeah,
the worst part of an Undead Summoner is that you can't control what your guy's doing. And by the way, a bleed on the bear is just devastating, and the chance it hits that counterattack is minuscule.
So the reason the undead summons are so weak is
Oh,
like the AI and
4%.
the AI in the campaign will just like they'll latch onto the first target that they can do the most damage to. So if they see a summon directly in front of them, they'll just take it.
Mm-hmm. By the way, we have now a dead.
Carry on the fight.
Not even gonna give her the chance to do one last reprimand to cleanse off all those debuffs.
We will fight
Yep.
where you command.
The fear of
And
death.
Fear
Skelly
of Death
decided he
is
wants
good.
to play.
But
That's
just think
actually
about
huge.
it. There's
That's
a
huge on the
there's
backline,
a
though.
non-zero chance that skeleton does a fucking scare attack and
That's
does
true.
nothing.
Ragnarok,
There's-
let's buff the skeletons by removing scare attack from the summoned skeletons list.
It's true. Like, you want them to fear of death. Like, that is 95% of the sales pitch is, oh, I can fear of death this person. It ain't happening.
I think Sinister
Grave
Laughter is
Laughter's
probably
not
a better
bad.
play. This will petrify.
Okay. Oh yeah. You want that. Any immunities on the team? Do we know? Is the Cyclops immune?
Most of these units don't have the capability
No,
to receive
They don't.
immunities.
Okay. Nobody's taking a turn for. Wait, does the dog have the cleanse?
He does.
Oh,
He can cleanse 3
What
people.
a counter! The lupus howl gets 3 cleanse. The barbarian kind of sucks. They're still petrified. Not the biggest deal in the world. And the fear of death goes away. Huge play for the
Ooh.
lupus howl.
Basilisk was
Completely
really
counters
banking.
that laughter. Oh my god! Look, he's instant dead to the dispersion beam.
Well, he's got a revive, but
Yeah.
Basilisk was really hoping that the Lupus Howl was going to fail. There was always the chance it fails there. Wants
Yeah.
the quick kick in the back to also apply poison to this already bleeding bear.
Yeah, that's not great, is it?
Oh, maybe not. Once the running attack, it's only
Just
1
running
SP.
attack.
We're getting double faked out. It's the quick kick.
It is a back
Oh,
quick
that's a
kick.
crit.
Yikes! Now it just feels doomed for.
Basilisk
Just
getting a
feels
bit
doomed
RNG.
here for
Do you
Basilisk.
think
Yeah.
if Basilisk wants to pull it up, do you think he sticks to his guns and takes the Undead Summoner for a 3rd match in a row, or do you think he breaks from his norm and tries to find something
I
else?
like the Undead Summoner. I don't like that the Undead Summoner isn't using their damage moves.
Now he's got no affinity.
He's got no affinity and no bitches. And if he darkness from lives, he's just gonna lose his affinity again. But
No,
whatever.
shit, it costs 4 SP to drain.
But I just think you should be
Make-
using your skeletons to end the game, not to get there when you're winning. You use those undead melees to really make your opponent miserable. Right now, you're not in a winning position, so you're putting all your eggs in the skeleton basket, and it's just not happening. And then as we've always said, the skeleton summoner is exceptional at turning a winning situation into a win. You know what I mean? He does not turn losing situations into winning situations, and we're really feeling that. And they're all too spread out for this meteor.
Do we finally see
Like,
the
yeah,
meteor
you
drop?
you could get the dog, you could get like 3, but it's too late. It doesn't matter. Oh, and the meteor doesn't even have the, does it have the correct range? It doesn't even have the correct range to hit everything. And those are the two least useful things to hit. You need to be terrified of this Cyclops just kicking the shit out of your undead summoner, your undead legionnaire and murdering you. Cyclops is untouched.
Do we see a second fear? Ooh, Dark Affinity 2 immediately.
Dark Affinity attack 2. Does he get a kill?
That's a revive on the mongrel. It did get the kill, but the mongrel's got revive.
The mongrel's got revive too.
It's got a mummy scalp. That's a very important note for future matches, that if the mongrel comes in, he's reviving mongrel.
Yeah, that is. I was about to say,
incredibly potent at the higher levels.
They're potent when
I'll tell
played
you why
right.
in a moment. Go ahead.
They're potent when played right, and the key is they didn't get cleansed. A mongrel feels pretty bad when you're not cleansing, when people are cleansing. I think if you see a mongrel, if you have a lupus called wolf running around, he has similar INI, and he could be cleansing this shit and really making the mongrel feel bad, but it's just not happening right now.
So the reason that the mongrel feels so strong at this point in the game compared to the level 10 point is their kick attacks are based off of power and not damage, and you can pick up damage items incredibly easy, but power comes with level. So as you get higher in the level, their power stat continues to increase. They actually they increase at pretty much the same rate as everybody else, but their abilities deal like 1.2 1.5 power. So when you get to this later stage game where your power starts to catch up with other people's damage stat, it's just kind of a no-brainer. They start to deal tons of damage. This is looking like it's going incredibly in Braigs' favor here. I think that the turtle strat for Braigs worked out really well with the this barbarian being able to just water affinity attack the Secutor in half. Absolutely nothing. There was no counter to that whatsoever.
There was. If you say, okay, if you want to turtle, I'll turtle, and I'll drop a meteor on you until you get better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no counter once you break out of the turtle. You have to.
Once you break out of the turtle.
You have to. I honestly think if Basilllisk put his undead summon diagonal with the bear, so the bear's kind of at the cornerstone of there, and just threw meteors over the top of the bear, it could have been a much better play.
Yeah, I mean, she's got Firebomb. The Chandler's got Firebomb, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but you have Meteor. It's more than that Chandler's doing in many turns.
Yeah, and if you can get a meteor off right in the middle of the enemy team, I mean, you're only going to get one before everything starts spreading out, but even that one did like 150 damage to the mongrel and 250 to the barbarian. And here comes the water affinity 4 or 2, sorry, for the back attack.
The clap. So
revive
we're
number
losing
1.
A revive. Yeah. This water affinity has been worth its weight in gold, and we haven't seen way too many water affinities.
Yeah,
Might be consideration next time.
None of us really saw. Neither of us saw the combo coming down. We were like, why is this channeler buffing this barbarian, giving her affinity, and it's for this water affinity too. It's just absolutely insane damage. A dispersion beam would have knocked the next one off there.
If you are if you're a medium, you need help catching up to those lights to do what you need to do. The water affinity really does feel pretty good with these mediums because they allow the mediums to catch up and get the claps they need, especially in the early rounds.
This undead summon is so tanky, but doesn't
matter.
Like the channeler just feels like the ultimate counter to this undead summon. She can steal his affinity, she can sleet his summons. That leaves the barbarian with a single hit point. This summoner might be able to, in Livin or something, heal up this barbarian. 2 HP on the barbarian. Here comes the 60% heal just to rub salt in the wound.
Yeah. Is that a 5 versus... I think that will be the first time we'll see a 5v0 win, by the way. If not the first time, it'll be the...
No units
lost
on
lost.
Braigs' side there. It's just... on Basilisk's thought process here, do you think he pulls away from the undead summon? Because it just has not found footing. And if there's, oh, we're going to the pit.
Oh,
Basilisk
we
said,
love the
I've
pit.
had
We love
enough.
the pit.
We're pit gaming.
The problem is, I just think Braigs has a better pit team. That Cyclops is going to do so much work. And we're seeing
The Cyclops is just going to hop in, Dispersion Beam.
if that Cyclops gets one Dispersion Beam off, it's devastating. Do we see reviving Yushish? The pit is one of the more decent places for Yushish to hang out. He loves having those Sam Knight moves, just clapping shit around. Do we see it? This, if you pick Undead Summon in here and a Dispersion Beam goes off, what do you do with your life? Yeti? I've been gassing the Yeti for a while now.
I mean, the Yeti seems massive in these fights, but it's also, we saw the Cyclops was not spell Cyclops. It's possible this Yeti is not spell Yeti.
If this is not spell Yeti, we have Minotaur at home, but even worse. I mean,
not
it's
just
not
Minotaur
even
at home,
worse.
but Minotaur we actually left in the back of the pantry for too long, and now it's molding.
No, that's the Cyclops. The Yeti at least has immunities to a lot of the obnoxious CC shit that you see. And the mongrel walks right in. He's gonna be he's got 2 heavies to kick the shit out of. It's just, oh boy, this is gonna be a bloodbath one way or another. And this really depends on who is gonna be the first initiative. Is it gonna be the Yeti getting praying? The Yeti gets a devastating freeze off, or is it the Cyclops dispersion beaming your team?
We're seeing the Sam Knight potentially coming down. So the thing with the Sam Knight is you actually want to put the Sam Knight right in the middle of the team. You actually want the enemy to surround it, because if you have that blind sweeping attack, as we're talking about earlier, it deals like 140% of your total damage, not even power, but 140% of your total damage to all units, 1 in the front, 3 in the back, for a grand total of like 540% if you manage to hit everyone. Or maybe it's 160%. I don't know. The math is weird. It's 540% if you manage to hit all 4 targets, though. Feel free to do the math at home.
Yeah, what am I, an engineer? A math teacher, even? The joke is I am one. Not an engineer, a math teacher.
Going into match 3 here, Braigs does have the 2-0 lead. Basilisk would have to give an immediate 3-0 sweep in order to... This Centurion is just crying right now.
Holy shit, this Centurion's in such a terrible
Unfortunately,
position.
this Mongrel doesn't have surprise attack, so he can't force a backstab here, but Hobbling Kick is a stun. You could get a Scraping Claws to get the bleed. The Hobbling, yeah, you only apply bleed on Scraping Claws. Kind of digging to see if he wants to get behind this Yeti. Braigs brought his own Undead Legionnaire, which, as we saw the other day, has a lot of damage. Blind Spot Sweep, exactly what I was talking about. Lots of damage coming through. Here comes the sweep. And that actually killed that Undead Legionnaire. That was one of its revives. Mongrel going again before anyone else gets a chance to do anything.
And by the way, he's gonna just fucking smack this Yeti. Oh my god.
I am sure they are down in Frost Counter. It actually has a chance to freeze.
And it did, it hit.
They are in that chat together right now, down in the other room. That Mongrel probably got a second turn, and they probably both went, what?
Look at the sinister laughter. Look at the sinister laughter.
Let's see if this Yeti has anything. Does he have the Frost Breath? I don't think you can do anything here.
Oh,
other than
god,
maybe damage. I mean, Hibernation it's a full damage Yeti. No, he does have 1 Frost Breath. He does have 1 Frost Breath, but I just don't think it's enough.
You need to hit the Cyclops with numbing blows here. You cannot let this Cyclops get a beam off.
That Cyclops is about to dispersion beam all over your team. You actually have to frost breath and hope it freezes. 75%
No, numbing blows,
chance.
I believe, has a chance
It lowers
to freeze
I&I.
too. Oh, okay.
I believe. We can ask you, Shish.
You shish.
I'm asking you,
I
Shish.
have questions. You shish. You shish. No, no, see, oh no, and he goes for the frost breath. It misses. It hits the skeleton, misses the Sam Knight. Now you're gonna see the most beautiful dispersion beam you've ever seen in your life. He's just gonna hit everything.
The numbing blows is initiative down and move to attack range down.
Oh my god, does he just kill the Yeti?
I think he just kills the
Yeti's the
Yeti
only one
because
who can go.
the entire enemy team is petrified. You can literally just systematically take them out one at a time. Oh, going for the
goes
massive
for a
cleanse.
Uh-oh. Oh, blind spot sweep.
If they have blind spot attack, no, they don't. Okay. They do have just blind spot attack. That's only 1 SP, and it will still kill both units.
Yep.
I don't know why you would do that. I think you would blind spot attack, and you actually just kill both of them right away.
I mean, does it change much though?
No, but it's just an optimal thing.
Yeah. I nerve.
All of them retreat as they're petrified. They'll just.
Oh, look at that beautiful turn tracker, by the way. That's hot. Quick kick comes in.
I think
instant poison.
I think
but
what we're seeing
why are
here.
you cleansing the? Oh, she's fierce.
She didn't cleanse anything. I think what we're seeing here is the power of a spell and utility based Cyclops versus Minotaur at home. There
Look
goes
at
the
that.
Undead Legionnaire just nuked in the backline. They're both in that call just going, what the heck is happening?
The Scraping Claws makes the bleed come, which means even if the Legionnaire gets a turn, she's going to be wasting that one turn or cleansing herself or dying.
We're going back for a stun for some reason instead of the...
Okay.
Sweeping attack,
The Sam Knight can just literally clap the impeding strike.
The impeding strike is actually a massive add. It gives slow turn and I&I down.
You should go for a strike here, yes?
That's
Yep,
the
get a
most
back
damage
strike.
that specific Undead Legionnaire has done this entire run. If you guys were watching on Thursday, that Undead Legionnaire was doing 12 damage per hit.
To be fair, he also got the most clutch CC move of the game, so...
That's fair. I mean, that's what he's built for, is just to be a tank and to be annoying.
Yep. Powered I-beam presumably incoming. If he has the skill points for him, he comes in, which means this guy's got a slow turn, which means he's giga doomed. Mongrel just walks on around, gets a nice little kick in.
Uh-oh.
Levi for
He accidentally double tapped instead of clicking the ability. And that is going to be a 3-0 in favor of Braigs. We're going to pull them in here in a moment, give them a second to chat whatever they want to chat down there in the other chat, but that felt like Bony Boys maybe aren't so good against arcane units. That's basically what that chalked up to. I'm gonna pull Braigs up in here. We'll have a little chat with them and send them on their way. Hello. Welcome back for, was that the third time?
Yep, third time.
Absolutely insane plays. The comp. How much do you think it was the comp, and how much do you think it was the plays there for your 3-0 victory today?
Definitely leaning towards the comp. Not gonna lie, I did a bit of watching his game last night and just try to work out what beats skeletons on my team. So that definitely helped.
It
looks
turns
like
out
you found
the
it.
answer was channelers, and the pit was the Cyclops for sure.
Yeah, no, the pit was definitely from, because I think that was my fourth game there from the other like qualifiers and that, so I was like, I know what works in the pit, and just went all those units.
How did you feel when you saw the Cyclops on the other team? There was no dispersion or powered I-beams.
Not sure how I felt about it, but he definitely mopped up my barbarian with that Cyclops.
Yeah. Huge
Yeah,
hits.
the one trick one. That barbarian play, none of us saw that coming. All the attack boost on it, giving it water affinity attack 2, and then just having it cleave the Secutor right down the middle.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing what you say when the channeler boosts his affinity to like start off with.
We were like, we were both
so
like,
confused.
why?
We were like,
Yeah,
we thought you were going to channeler boost herself into affinity oblation on the channeler into affinity attack 4, and then the barbarian just ran straight down the middle and immediately took that undead summoner's first life away.
Yeah,
We were
that,
like,
that was the
"Oh,
whole
shit."
gimmick with the barbarian was support it with a channeler to give it affinity and just boost its damage as high as possible because it had berserk as its accessory.
Well, it definitely threw us for a sideball because I don't there was, I think maybe Mystic also had a barbarian, but we never saw him actually field the barbarian. A lot of interesting tactics here. People weren't thinking, you know, we know the channelers are strong. Cultist seems quite strong now. The Yetis, the Cyclops, but you chose some back roads characters like the Wolf, the Barbarian, and I mean that was kind of the main two. The Mongrel, which as people are seeing in this tournament, actually really turned around. Going into any of the matches, you know, your comp seemed just overwhelmingly powerful against Basilisk team, especially with the hashtag Bony Boys out here. Were any of those 3 fights when you guys were picking comps, did any of them have you worried, or did it feel pretty solid?
The first game had me worried, especially when the barbarian went down really early.
Mhm.
The second game, just with how the first game went, I was feeling more confident with it. But yeah, definitely got to give love to the mongrels. Mongrels VIP for the whole tournament, I reckon, for me.
The scraping
I
claws,
was,
the kick into scraping claws is just nasty.
I
Yeah,
was told
just
to
the
gas
amount of
up
half turn
the
attacks.
mongrel shaman, but it appears that the regular mongrel, who I should have been gassing up the whole time.
They heard you're gonna gas up the Mongol shaman. They put down the stick and took up the sword and just
Yeah,
beat everyone's brains
Yeah,
in.
just
M- my
kicked
my
everyone's brains in.
yeah, my initial team did have a mongrel shaman in it, but I ended up changing it for the cultist, which I think overall was a good thing.
Probably. We remember I gas up things that probably shouldn't be gassed up.
The mongrel shaman I felt did go pretty hard as like a CC tank, just all the damage reduction and just petrifies and poisons and
Mhm. Also, clutch lupus howl on that wolf just
yeah,
cleansed
that
all of it, and we were like, oh. We were talking about, well, what is this wolf for? We talked about, man, is this a supporting wolf? Because we saw a supporting wolf duo in the first tournament. And I'm like, man, is this a support wolf? JR says, oh, well, he can do a little bit of everything. They're high level. And sure enough, that lupus howl was huge. He's completely flipped the second game on his head.
yeah, no, I definitely built that wolf completely around being a supporting wolf with the range up accessory for its house,
Hmm.
and then just put a bit of bleed on there so it could still do a little something in but
Yeah, it was a nice throat tear against the bear to make it, have
The,
a
the
great time.
the bleeds are just insane with the 10% max HP. Like you can have something like the wolf go spec fully into utility, take 1 bleed skill, and still out damage other units. It's
yeah, especially with how much evasion the wolf gets.
absolutely. All right. With that, congratulations on winning, and congratulations to Basilisk for making it all the way up to the grand finals. I will reach out to both of you at some point today to talk about prizes. You guys both earned prizes as we do here on the stream. I forgot to say at the beginning of the week, but now that it's the end of the week, any revenue we make from this stream over the course of the week goes right back into the pot for the next tournament. So we keep it rolling. But congratulations again. I'm gonna knock you back down to the interview channel. If you got any last comments before we send you out?
Only real comment is it's been real fun being a part of it all and looking forward to the next one.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna have to defend your title now, yes?
That's it. The random underdog coming in with only being a month on, coming through.
All right.
Uh,
Oh, I actually knocked him out. He was starting another thing there. For everyone who is still watching, this is not the end of the grand finals. We will be back in about 4.5 hours with the metered tournaments grand finals. That's gonna be level 10 metered versus Orzos and who are they playing against? Section. Orzos versus Section. And as we know, both of their teams are absolutely disgusting.
Placers.
The ads come up literally as I'm trying to sign out here. I'll try to run out. We got a minute and a half till the ads end. I got a couple of announcements at the end I want to give out there. But yeah, thanks to everyone who's coming out and supporting us with watching the streams this week. It's always great when we can get the tournaments going. We're gonna try and have more of them going forward, and I'm really streamlining in this process. The last tournament took us like multiple weeks, maybe more than a month, to actually get set up. And then it took me a full week of prep to get OBS and everything together. But this tournament took, I sent out the schedule. I asked for signups. That took a week. I gave them 2 weeks to make their team. And then I gave myself 1 week of prep. And there was basically no prep work on my end. So these are really streamlining in, getting faster and faster. And now that we have the Eustace bot, he can also assist with people helping get signed up and scheduling. So looking forward to future seeing more tournaments more frequently, maybe not monthly, but maybe once a season, once every 2.5 months ish, once every 3 months ish. Everybody's welcome, of course. We're working on more tournament patches, more balancing. I'm going to be working with Ragnarok and the community to make sure everyone feels everything is fair, especially after this tournament.
It does feel like every time we do a tournament, we're like, we'll make it more balanced next time. So
it's more balanced than it was the first time. I cleaned up the channelers because they kind of dominated the first time, but
they were disgusting.
All right, so we are going to sign out there. I'll give a little. So if you guys look at the tech support channel, I haven't made them official tools yet, but for those that want to get into modding or maybe just want to take a little peek around in the files, I did make a GUI variant of our modding tools that Swift and Zeju and Jim B, who's kind of started every one of the modders who has worked on the tools, Leonard, Ragnarok, everybody who has worked on the tools has put forward a massive amount of effort. I've slapped a GUI on the front of it. The tool's not complete. It will have more features as we go down the road. But right now, if you want to look in the tech support channel, there is a link to my tool. I verified it was working yesterday. Unpack the files, make edits, repack the files, test your ISO. It's literally a 2-button click feature now. You no longer have to edit up the CMD. I've got some other tools on the work. What we talked about on Thursday, there is going to start being PvP nights, maybe not weekly, but maybe every other week, or if it gets a lot of traction, maybe we will have it weekly. But I'm going to start setting up PvP nights. Maybe we can start gathering some seed data. So if you compete in a lot of PvP nights and you win a lot, Eustace will know your ranking. And then when the tournament comes up, we will not do the pull out of a hat ranking style, but we'll actually do seed rankings for brackets. Those are the things I have for this time around. But that's going to be us for now. We will be back in about 4 to 4.5 hours with the metered level 10 grand finals.